Hi guys, and welcome to another Train Sim 2019 video. Today we are on the DPS East Coast Main Line South, so this has got the extension up to Royston. I wish it went all the way to Cambridge, but it doesn't. Still a very, very good route that I thoroughly enjoy. This is a scenario by a American guy actually, called Matt G17. It was part of Great British Railworks. He's also got some of his stuff in the third-party section of Vulcan Productions. This was a scenario that just completely tickled my interest. You guys know I love a bit of NSC, and of course the East Coast Main Line, and of course 365s and 317s, blah 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 blah. So this is 1 Tango 17. This is 0725 Kings Lynn-Kings cross service, and of course we're taking over from Royston. Just sitting at a red outside Royston at the minute. Train is pretty much set up, ready for us to go. Let me just check my lights are right. Yep, we're good. So we'll just wait for the road, really. This is using James Ivel's NSE 365, I think. Pretty sure it is. And there's also a older version that uses the 465 front, so you don't end up with the aircon modification. 365s are one of my favourites. They always have been. These were sort of the new kid on the block when I was younger, and I remember even being on a one of the first passenger test runs on the East Coast Main Line between Huntingdon and Peterborough, and it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So I think the fact that they've come a lot off the East Coast Main Line is a bit sad for me. Let's see if there's any blurb about skipping this. Hello driver, currently here at Kilo 984 as 365 is currently in the platform. Request to pass the signal at and head into the station, couple up to the unit, and then you'll depart Royston at 8:02, calling at Letchworth, Hitchin, Stevenage, and arriving at King's Cross at 9:11. Have a nice trip. Okay, so we are actually going to have to tab this and couple up. If anything, actually, if they ever did this at Royston, I don't know. This is set in 2003. So we were still under Wagon then, were we? West Anglia Great Northern. Does look pretty mean, doesn't it? I know people call them happy trains. I can get why they do that because of the way the aircon stuff is, but I did prefer them pre the aircon. Right. Swap cabs. Cancel my AWS. Open the doors. Get my cab lights on. Have my lights transferred to be on? No. Let's get those on. And we're all set. So this was always the way I preferred to come to King's Cross. Coming from Cambridge, it was always the way I preferred to get into London, was going to King's Cross, is what I meant to say there. The West Anglia Main Line, I like it, don't get me wrong, and I love a 317, but with the 365s, they were like I said, they were the new kid on the block, so it was always quite cool to get a 365 down. And also, because I spent a lot of time in Huntingdon as well, getting the 365s up to Peterborough or down to London as well. They're quite often... It used to always be, from Huntingdon to Peterborough, the times we used to go on a Saturday used to always end up being a 317 there and a 365 back, which is always quite cool. And the NSE livery is just fantastic. It's one of those liveries where there's very few people out there that didn't really like it. There is a couple, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's more than I know of, but I think it really suited anything it went on. Really, somebody's going to find some really obscure picture or something now and go, "Did it really suit that?" And I'm going to go, "Nah, all right, fair enough." I'm still on the red. Approved. It's a route that I'm surprised nobody's ever really got any further with than this. But people always say that, don't they? People are always like, why isn't this line from A to B done? And it's mainly because it tends to be people's local stations that you end up really liking. It's what you're familiar with, isn't it? It's your route, your area. And people are always really surprised why it's never been done. It's like, it gets a 150 every hour and a half. Oh, got some procedural flora issues going on there. The thing with this line is there isn't much that really goes up and down it. Nowadays it's sort of 700s and 387s. Get the odd little bit of freight and the odd little stock move and the odd bit here and there, the odd test train ballast working. You get quite a few ballast workings actually if there's stuff going on the East Coast Main Line. But I'm looking forward to the AI in this scenario. Also uses the backdated train sim 317 enhancement pack thing they did for the DRB sim stuff 317 that's been available for donkeys. I'm interested to have a look at that. If you don't know about the DRB 317, it's available on UKTS. It's an incredibly old 317 model that at the time was absolutely fine. There was no issue. I loved it when it was out because it was free and it was there. It was pretty good. But some of the pictures I've seen, I think it might be Railworks and Answer that make it look incredibly shiny. So I do want to look forward to seeing one or two of those. And that reskin pack is of course available on Backdated Train Sim. This reskin is Mr. Ivals, that's ATS, and so is the white 313, that's ATS as well. There was a little interesting note on this scenario that said due to there being a lack of a 373, so Eurostar set, he's used a 291 sandwich in a Mark IV rake. Novel, but I can see why he's done it. And I still cannot contain my excitement for a 373 in TS. Oh, we could do 90 here. Do you know, I've never really read the manual about speed set on a 317. No, 365. That I want. And then I have got a manual scanned in. Let's see if there's a bit about speed set. This is an FCC one, so I mean this is relatively, I say relatively new. When was this published? 2009. Let's try and find a decent bit. We might even do a little bit of read through. Ashwell Morden. Speed set operation. When speed set mode with the power notch is selected, the speed set system will automatically control the train speed to hold approximately 2 miles an hour below the target speed selected by the driver. Similar principle to cruise control in cars. If the speed stop drops too far below the target speed, the unit will automatically apply traction power in order, let's just stop here, to gain back the selected speed. Target speed is about to exceed such as on a falling gradient, the speed set will automatically apply the dynamic brake in order to get back to the target speed, even though the combined power traction brake controller is in a power notch. Most drivers only use the speed set where a long period running at one speed is expected, on a long TSR, ESR, or on a fast service where you're not required to stop at any stations for a long period. They accelerate normally, then hit the required speed, shut off traction power controller, select the speed they want to hold, and then reapply traction power to hold the speed. Most drivers do this due to the slower acceleration speed evident when accelerating using the speed set equipment, as time can be lost if using the system continuously. Oh. Letchworth's actually a much prettier station in real life. Oh, not quite. Could have done it though. Looks like we're running slightly early as well, which is good. Working multiple other units, speed set must not be used. Ooh. So these on here that aren't simulated on this, they're not even evident on here on the 365, even though they are in real life. are acceleration and brake rate indicators. And then there's a little clock here. That'd be quite cool to see. Do you want to know the Class 365 Reboot Procedure? I love that. In the event of this train experiencing traction or other power problems, such as only half the coach is lit, or cab heater not working, etc., except when the pantograph is dropped, then please carry out the following procedure in the order shown below when it is safe to do so. Ensure that the train is stationary. Brake problems will result if the train is still moving. If carrying out a reboot, do it at a station. Close train doors. If a reboot is carried out with the doors open, they will shut with no warning during this procedure. Move the direction switch to sort my speed set out first, and I don't have to concentrate on that too much, even though we're going to be going down to 40. Direction switch to off. Press and hold for 2 seconds the auxiliary trip button and wait 2 seconds. Press and hold for 10 seconds the auxiliary heating lighting set button. Move the direction switch to neutral and select AC systems. Cancel the AWS TPOWS, which is pretty standard. Press and hold for a minimum of 15 seconds the pan up reset button. If the train air supply is low, pressure in the pan up reset button will need to be held for a minimum of 30 seconds. When the pan up reset button is released, the line light will come on. The unit and train fault lights will change to blue. Traction power can now be taken. Do we have lit train fault lights? I don't know. We were a little bit fast there. I find them fascinatingly interesting units. I've got some really cool features in them that were pretty revolutionary at the time. There's one of the 317s. Yeah, I've got no issue with that as AI whatsoever. Let's chase it. Christ, it's better modelled than the 700, isn't it? So yeah, no worries with that. I'll say that, the front's not awesome, but it does the job. I've got no problem with that as AI in a scenario. No problem with that as AI at all. Ooh, 365-534 has in the past been used as a testbed for modifications to the 365 fleet. One particular modification that stands out in this unit is a modification to the cab buttons. This modification was primarily used to stop the problem of door release buttons getting stuck, but also includes changes to other door buttons in the cab. To date, the modifications have not been adopted on the fleet, but remain solely on 365-534. So it relates to this panel here. And it's just some round buttons here instead. So literally just same buttons, but they've been made round. Oh, got some weather. And yeah, it's just all of the buttons have been made round instead of the oblong shaped ones, which I really like. The oblong ones. Alright, we can. Nice, I wasn't expecting a bit of rain there. Don't want to jinx it, but I'm actually keeping time. It's rare for me. Let's just see if I can stop at Stevenage. Ah, GNR. Not my favourite livery on a 91, I must add, but still very, very, very distinguished looking. At least those wipers aren't annoying. Stevenage. This is Stevenage. One of the best things about 365 is the noise they make. Some say the 323 is better. And I love the sound of a 323 as well. Ooh, Hull Train's 170, nice. Oh, the white wagon livery on the 313, that's nice as well. Yeah, nice scenario so far. Good AI. I thought it was going to clear up. It looks like it's getting a bit worse down here. It is London, I suppose. Nobody really likes going to London. So let's just see if we can get it up to 100 with speed set. Nice, another 91. Oh no, yeah, 91. Please stand back from the platform edge. This train does not stop here. Another 317 there. Oh, NSE one. Let's have a look at the NSE one while we're here. Okay, yeah. As AI, completely acceptable. We're not even stopping at Finsbury Park. Nice. Clear run into the cross. Correct seat maquette as well. Wrong handles, but correct seat maquette. They're very nice. They also had really nice carpet, and that's one of the things I missed about the refurbs of them was there was carpet, and it is something that's starting to become sort of non-existent on trains, isn't it? I know it's much easier to clean and look after, and it's probably way more hygienic. But I do miss it. First class on a 365 was like going into like an early 90s boardroom. They even had little table lamps, if I remember rightly, or something, didn't they, in the 365s? Trying to picture it. Some really weird sort of things about the doors here. This unit has air-operated sliding plug doors which are mechanically locked. When closed, the doors are speed locked to prevent opening above 4 miles an hour. There are four possible methods of body-side passenger door release the driver can give from the cab, but release all is the only one the driver should normally need to use. So you'd press release and all. So that one and that one at the same time. So if you did release and front, this releases all doors on the side selected except those on the rear, except those on the rear coach of the train. Okay. Release plus rear releases all the doors on the side selected except for those on the front coach of the train. Okay. It's a bit odd, isn't it? So on this side, again, you've got your door controls over here. So your door release, rear, front, all. Door control is given via the driver's direction switch, so the reverser. Unlock by using the master key. This means that in order to operate the doors, door controls, the driver does not exceed a 21. Does not need a 21 door key. Right. If a door release is given when a cab door is open, the local door close buttons on the passenger doors on that DMOC will not close the doors, and the doors will get the jitters. And I kid you not, actually, this will get the jitters. The doors will still respond to the door close panel in the cab. So it sounds like they'll just start doing that. They weren't perfect, bless them, were they? Got 95 coming up. I know why it's doing that, because the speed set is going to try and bump it up. Bounce screen. Excellent. Oh, I won't lie, the heat in here and driving this. Well, the drive's very good. I'm thoroughly enjoying the drive, but I am getting very tired. This is probably my... What time are we at now? 1, 12, 11, 8. So 6 hours of driving non-stop now. This is us going down into the cross. Brilliant. I've enjoyed this. That was the 373 set. Well, the 373 stand-in. Oh, it's what King's Cross used to look like. Right then, guys, thank you very much for joining me on that lovely little run. Heading over to Great British Railworks or VP to get this. Also heading over to AlanThompsonSim.com for more scenarios and all that sort of jazz. Heading over to Twitch on a Sunday night from 7 onwards and a Wednesday night from 7 onwards. That might have a not very fun time because it's coming in a bit fast. Heading over to the Facebook group. A little bit of tech support over there and a bit of banter as well, so you can enjoy that. So, let me pull it up nicely, and then we can say bye-bye properly. Once again then, guys, thanks ever so much. Catch you next time.